If I was Kevin Patullo and you told me that my wife and kids were tied up in a Brooklyn basement somewhere just waiting to be turned into a snuff film, and the only way I can stop them was to lead and call a game-winning drive, I'd already be on my way to the nearest tailor to get a suit for that closed casket funeral. This Eagles organization is honestly falling apart. I don't know about the organization itself, but definitely this team. This year's, I don't even know what to say. It's looking like 2023 all over again. We're just due for a collapse. This is coming off of I guess it's 4:30 in the morning. I guess 2 days ago, um, the Eagles got absolutely embarrassed by the Chargers, or I should more say, Jalen Hurts got absolutely embarrassed by the Chargers because he threw 4 picks in one game and somehow had 2 turnovers in one play. And just as a cherry on top, I spent a good $400 to go see that happen in person. Like, it really just saddens me. Just to see that this team is just so garbage. If you told me that this same team not only won the Super Bowl last year, but blew out the Kansas City Chiefs, I think I would honestly just assault you physically. I would probably just murder you. I really don't know what else there is to say besides how disappointing it is to see them this season. As much as I'll always back up the Eagles and defend Jalen Hurts as much as I can, there's really nothing I can do here. We really just need to take into account all of the factors that really tied into this loss, I guess you could say. Obviously, Kevin Patullo's somewhere on the scrotum, but I feel like yesterday it mainly wasn't really his problem. Um, AJ Brown having some critical drops, holding calls that negated touchdowns. It's not funny. It's really not funny how much the penalties hold us back. Um, just all the false starts and the holdings. I really don't know. I don't even want to talk about Jalen Hurts throwing 4 interceptions, especially one to lose the game in overtime. You know, they marched all the way down the field into the red zone, and he throws it into double coverage. That was honestly the most heartbreaking thing I could have ever seen in my life. I really just don't know. The Eagles fans are in such a dark time right now that we're really reminiscing on the Brian Johnson era. I really thought I would never in my life have to think about Brian Johnson again, but here we are. We're making Brian Johnson edits. It's not funny. It's not. We got Jake Elliott missing field goals. When I saw that missed field goal, it reminded me of when we were playing the Commanders last season and he decided to miss like 4 field goals and 2 extra points in one game. It really just it's small errors that just make you the most angry because it's stuff that you do on the daily. You know, AJ Brown catches one-handers all the time in his pregame warm-ups, and a fade in the back of the end zone, he just drops it. Why? I don't know. I don't know why he drops it. One of the interceptions I like to think wasn't Jalen's fault entirely because while watching, I'm not sure how well it showed on the national broadcast, but it looked like Jalen was trying to hit a pretty open Smitty behind AJ, and he kind of just jumped up, didn't make the grab, and it got picked. Again, it was just another drop. If he caught that, it's like, okay, it's a good play right there, but I mean, it could have been better. It's really just this team as a whole because it just seems like there's something off. Nothing's clicking. The entire season, AJ and Jalen weren't hooking up, but now they are. I jokingly told my friend a little while ago, there's 3 aspects to a football team, but you can't have all 3. You can only have 2 of them, and it was drama, uh, drama. You know what? Never mind. But at least AJ's getting his targets and his receiving yards now, you know, because that makes it all better. You know, I think about this team, and I went through my TikTok reposts, and I just saw all the old edits from the very end of the 2024 season. You know the Jordan ad that they played right after the Super Bowl, and it was the narrator, and he was like mad that he proved you wrong and all your armchair wisdom. You know, the haters are never gonna let this. The media will never let this go. It doesn't matter how many Super Bowls Jalen wins. Honestly, at this rate, he might never win one again. But if he threw 500 touchdowns and flew to the moon this season, it still would not overshadow the fact he threw 4 picks in one game. He's had 9 turnovers in the last 3, and it's not funny. It really isn't. He had 2 picks all year, and he throws 4 in one game. It should have been 5. One of them got called back. It's really just us getting lucky. 5 picks in one game, no touchdowns, none, no tush pushes, no passing touchdowns. It's just a sad sight. It's one of those like ugly stat lines that just kind of ruins a season. Not that he was really having the greatest season ever, but even if you have a mediocre season, it, it's like it's like having, everybody gets a 90 on a test, and you get Timmy who's got a pencil up his nose. He gets a 22. He just brings the whole class average down. It's just a sad sight, and I really don't know what else to say about it. I'm not scripting this, by the way. I'm just kind of spitballing. But if there's anything to look forward to, I really don't want to jinx it, but I don't think it can get any worse than this. I mean, you could almost say that this was a class act. This was actually a high intelligence play by Jalen Hurts here. You know, the media's got their standards so high for this guy. He's got to throw 3 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, and 400 yards every game. You know, he sets the bar low. What, he threw like 150 yards and 4 picks? You know, he set a low bar. So now, next game, he gets 1 passing touchdown and 2 tush pushes. He looks like he's the next Tom Brady. Listen, I'm just trying to keep high hopes, okay? I love this team with a passion, and I watch every single game, and it gets to the point where I'm ripping off my jersey in the middle of a Buffalo Wild Wings because he throws a pick to Kevin Byard. Of all people he could have got picked off by was Kevin Byard. The lows don't get much lower than this. The last time I've ever felt this low was, gosh, probably 2018 when Alshon Jeffrey dropped that ball and it got picked. I really don't know. I'm not gonna lie. If we were like 4-9 right now, I don't even think I'd be this mad or upset or sad. It's just the fact that we were 8-2, and now we're 8-5. That it's like, what are we doing? We're shooting ourselves in the foot. Our playoff hopes are thinning out by the day, and it doesn't help that the Cowboys, for some reason, remembered how to play football. You know, George Pickens forgot he was good for a minute. He forgot he has, a job other than just fighting a random DB in the corner of the frame. Well, I don't know. Jaylen Warren gets a 2-yard rush. Honestly, the threats in the NFC East are kind of removed. You know, the Commander season's over. No Jaden Daniels. You got a second RG3 on your hands. It's just nothing you want to see. Because I feel like this year we should have it all handed to us. The Cowboys started off awful. And, they still look questionable. Their defense is, the edges are rough, but I mean, they can get the job done on occasion. They beat the Chiefs at least. I just love to see the Chiefs fail. But other than that, we don't really have much good looking for us. I tried going to sleep that night, and I remember going back to my hotel room, and I turned on ESPN, and the first thing they showed was the Jalen Hurts interception compilation. And they had the announcers or the analysts, whoever, reacting to the play of him throwing a pick, the defender fumbling it, him picking it up, and then fumbling it. And they showed a graphic, first player since 1976 to have 2 turnovers in one play. Like, this is what I want to see, you know? Okay, cool, they're showing some Anthony Edwards highlights. The Timberwolves lost, even though he put up 40 points. Anyways, let's get right back to Jalen Hurts. Sucking absolute... some things I can't even say on YouTube. It just wasn't fun. I don't know what's worse. Jalen Hurts throwing 4 picks or gloating Chargers fan. I've never seen anything more unintimidating in my life. There was so many Chargers fans trying to, press me after that. I went to a 24-hour McDonald's, and it was one of those McDonald's that you don't order at the counter. It's just only kiosks. And I'm putting my order into the kiosk, and I'm getting my deluxe McCrispy chicken sandwich or whatever the hell. And this guy behind me, I'm peeping through the reflection of the screen. He's got a Dan Fouts jersey on. Obviously his friend's, because his friend's a little bigger, and that jersey was about 3 sizes too big on him. He says, "Wait, the Eagles lost today, right? Trying to talk some shit?" And honestly, I think that might have been the worst part of all of it. Just, you've got guys who aren't even fans of a team who's done nothing in their entire existence. Phillip Rivers is coming out of retirement, and he doesn't want to play for you. He doesn't even want to play for you. He spent goddamn 90% of his career for the Chargers. And he wants to go back to the Colts. Now I understand, the Chargers still have Justin Herbert. The Colts just lost their starting quarterback, but how small of an ego do you have to have that you just need to boost it that much? Do you want to talk some shit? I'm walking through SoFi Stadium with my Eagles jersey on. I'm not saying a word to nobody. Just sniffing the bacon-wrapped hot dogs that the Mexicans are selling everywhere. Walking past all the Indians trying to give you an Uber ride home. And I gotta deal with these just worthless fans. You guys are worshipping a nothing. I hate the Chargers so much. I almost hate them more than I hate the Rams now. And I hate the Rams. I don't even have a reason to hate the Rams. I just hate them. If Matthew Stafford wins MVP this year, I'll go be a Titans fan. I don't know. Looks like another love TKO.